This
with another
conference
topic,
will now be recorded.
that is Terraform. So in the previous session, in one of our demo, the beginning sessions, we were discussed Ansible, right? So these tools we have done. Now let's go to Terraform. At that time, I informed that Terraform is a infrastructure management tool. So that means in real time, suppose we have to create we have to destroy and or terminate servers which we have created. Not only servers, we will be creating in real time various resources like S3 buckets, VPCs, subnets, right, route tables, and EC2 instances, right, load balancers, elastic load balancers, and what do you call this one, uh, auto scaling. So when we creating these all services manually, and if something out of them, some of the resources to be deleted, then it is very difficult to do it manually. So and when the project is completed, and when the development team asks us to remove the complete setup which we have created, then we have to create it carefully, because in the cloud there will be other project resources also created. So while terminating the services which we have created for other project, we should be very careful while terminating them manually. If you do it manually, right, accidentally, there is a good chance of deleting other project services as well. That will be chance of error. So to avoid such errors, we discussed at the time that we will be using a tool called Terraform. So in a Terraform, for example, we are dealing with the two different projects or three different projects. So every project will have their own resources. They will be using their own resources. So whatever resources they are using for that project, you can create one TF file, one Terraform file. So normally in this I will explain more about it, about this file. But as of now, just this is a file we will write for that project. And similarly for another project, we will write another file, another TF file. So in that every file, we will be writing the script accordingly as per their requirements. Whatever resources those development teams asked us to create, we will be creating, right? So that whole thing we will be writing as a script. So when we execute our Terraform tool will go through this script, and it will perform the tasks. What tasks it will do? It will create the infrastructure, whatever you have mentioned in this file. Similarly, for other project, there will be another file for that, and you again run the Terraform tool, and use that. It will use that other file, and that will be that file will be whatever you have written in that file, that will be executed. Those infrastructure will be created by the Terraform. And tomorrow the project is completed, then we have to delete it. Then simply we have to give a command something like Terraform destroy. When you say Terraform destroy, then the file, it goes through the file, and whatever it has created. See, remember, whenever Terraform creates the infrastructure on the cloud, it will maintain the status, whatever it has created, everything it will maintain in a separate file called Terraform TF state. So it will maintain the state. Whenever you say Terraform destroy, then whatever state it has maintained, that state it will delete it completely. It will delete it for that particular project. That means we no need to worry whether we have removed all the resources, or accidentally are we removed other projects resources. So that we can avoid using Terraform tool, right? A brief explanation of Terraform. So Terraform, like Ansible, they have their own website. It belongs to a company called IaC. It belongs to a company called IaC, right? So here we have all the documentation and about Terraform tool as well. So you can go to the documentation and you can write your scripts like any Ansible. How we written the scripts, similar way we can write our own scripts. So for writing a scripts, for example, we have another website, something like what it is, Terraform IO. So there's another, or you can Google it out, no problem. So I believe it will be registry. So registry.terraform.io, this is a website actually. So here, so and one more thing you should understand, for AWS cloud, on the AWS cloud, we can use a tool called cloud formation. And on AWS cloud, we can use a tool called cloud formation. That means what I am trying to say here is that every cloud provider, they have their own, what you call, infrastructure creation tools. They have their own infrastructure creation tools. So like Terraform will work with any cloud provider. It will work with any cloud provider, whereas every cloud provider, they themselves have their own tools like Terraform. For example, cloud formation. This tool will work same like Terraform, but it will work only on the AWS cloud. It will work only on the AWS cloud. Similarly, Google Cloud, GCP in short, Google Cloud provider, they too have their own tool called Google Cloud Deployment Manager. In short, we say CDM. So like that, even Azure also. For Azure also, they have their own tool called Azure Resource Template, the Resource Manager, Manager templates, or in short, we can say ARM templates. So if you know only this one, then using this resource, if you created the infrastructure as a script, then it will work only on GCP. That code, whatever script you written using CDM, it will work only on the Google Cloud. If you use cloud formation and you return the scripts there it will work only for AWS. Similarly with Azure. So for that reason, if you use Terraform, then whatever scripts you have written in Terraform, that script will be working on all the cloud providers, not only these three. Any cloud provider you can use, and Terraform will properly create the infrastructure on those tools. That is the reason most of the companies prefer Terraform tool. So if you know Terraform, then no need to learn these individual tools. Yes, by some companies, they mostly they won't use, sometimes rare companies, they don't use Terraform. They want only cloud formation because they are using AWS. They don't want to go with other cloud. Others want Google Cloud only because they are using Google Cloud only. That way, sometimes there are some companies, but even though if you know Terraform, you can easily learn these other tools as well. So if you go to the cloud Terraform website, here browse, here we have different providers list. We have different providers list, right? So that means Terraform supports which cloud providers. For example, here this is a list of cloud providers: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform. Even Terraform can be used on Kubernetes, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud. We have many. If scroll down, we have many. So it supports all of them, all those tools. It supports all of them, right? So suppose I want to use Terraform for AWS, then you can click on AWS. When we click on AWS, on the right side we have documentation. Click on the documentation. Okay, so here we have all the APIs on the left side, like Ansible. In Ansible we have all the module list, right? So you will click the respective module. Similarly here also we have different, you can think it them as a modules, different modules. Suppose if I want to create an instance, if I want to create a one more please, screen is not bright, right? So like that, you can use multiple modules are already pre-written. You can use them and you can use it in your project. So today we'll see how can we use them. So for example, I want to create a EC2 instance on AWS, for example. Then search on EC2. It's a alphabetical order. So EC2, here EC2 image builder, EC2 cloud compute. Okay, click on that. Right here, AWS instance. We have AMI, CMI copy. Many are there. Okay, many are there. Each having their own purpose. Right here we have AWS instance, for example. If you click on it, they will give you example like how you can use it, how this is script, you can use this script and you can copy paste and you can start working on it, right? So today today onwards we will start how to write scripts for on Terraform. So after that you will find them very easy to understand. As of now you may be not understanding these things, but later on once you practice and when you come back to this documentation, at the time you will find them very friendly, right? You will find it them very easy to understand. Okay, so today we'll try to first we'll go through some definitions and then we will try to understand how to install Terraform on our machines, all right? And then we will write some scripts and we will try to create some servers on the cloud. So similarly, here I'm showing you AWS cloud provider. Similarly, you can browse again, click on providers again. You can go to Azure. Similarly, again go to documentation. So for Azure related documentation will be available here. Here are different modules, you can use them to create. Similarly with other providers as well, so you can select any Google cloud provider or anything, right? This way Terraform has provided all the required documentation, right? And one more thing, click on AWS documentation, right? So here, right, so when you writing here, you see, just scroll down. Here example, something like this you have to write provider. Here you should write AWS while writing the script. Right, while writing the script, a Terraform script, you have to give AWS. When you say AWS here, it understands, okay, I have to connect to AWS provider. Similarly for Google, here you will have Google. For Azure you will have Azure RM. For every different provider, they will have different names. Azure provider, okay, Azure provider can be used to configure infrastructure in Microsoft, okay, Azure. So when you scroll down, here you see provider name is Azure RM. That means single Terraform is enough to connect it to any cloud. Similarly, if you go to your Google, okay, just when you are free, just Google them. Okay, just go to browse the documentation once, become friendly with it. Provider is Google now this time. The only thing what we have to do is the provider name we have to change, right? We come back to this documentation whenever required, but as of now, so let's go to the definition of this Terraform, right? Now Terraform is called as a what do you call it, as a infrastructure, called as a infrastructure as a code, or in short we say IAM, sorry, C, infrastructure as a code. That means the infrastructure which we are going to be created, which we are going to create, we will create as a code. So these are code, right? So in the code format only we will write. So whatever you write, your steps you write, accordingly your infrastructure will be built. And then Terraform is an open source software, created by IaC Corp and written in Go language. Similarly, Kubernetes also written in Go language, right? So Terraform also written in Go language. Terraform is infrastructure as a code tool, right? Infrastructure as a code, right, is the process of managing the infrastructure in a file or multiple files, same like Ansible also we can have multiple files, right? Infrastructure code is the process of managing the infrastructure in a file or multiple files, right? So previously what we did till now, everything we created manually, instances we created manually, right? So instead of that we can use Terraform and we can create the infrastructure. And Ansible did what? It installed softwares, but Terraform is not like that. It will create the infrastructure, right, rather than manually configuring the resources using the AWS or cloud user interface, right? Terraform code is written in the HashiCorp configuration language. That means whatever we write, when we writing the code, we write using the HashiCorp configuration language, not the Go language. Go language is used to build the Terraform tool internally, but what code we write is HashiCorp configuration language, or in short we say HCL, right? In the files with extension, Ansible extension was YAML file .yaml, but here we use .tf. We use extension called .tf, right? So Terraform allows users to use HCL, right, to create the files containing the definitions of the what it contains, of the infrastructure. Decide, that means you can create the infrastructure, right? So here you what you write, you will write the definitions of the resources which we want to be created on the cloud, right? Right. And that is a small definition about it, right? Next, what we want? Next, we have to install the software. Terraform installation. So for Terraform installation, it's very easy. Go to our Terraform website again. Here where we have the doc, right? Click on docs here on the left side we have install. See, on the left side we have install. Click on install, and here we have all commands for various operating systems. So just come down. It's Windows, it's Linux, it's like Ubuntu or Debian, right? Right. Just scroll it down. We have different options over here. So out of this, okay, even if you're using Ubuntu, you select Ubuntu. If you want to use Amazon Linux, right? We have Fedora as well. You can use CentOS as well, right? Right. So let's launch instance. You can try CentOS as well if you want. You can use CentOS also. SUSE also you can use. Okay. CentOS is not here. If it is not displaying here, no problem. You can browse and you can select your CentOS. It is a free. It's also free. Try that as well. So Amazon Linux. I'm selecting Amazon Linux here. Here, let me name it as Terraform, something like Terraform server. So for this T2 micro is enough. T2 micro is enough. That's all. Launch instance. First, let us connect to it, and then right. So here, simply let us select Amazon Linux. These are the three commands. You can select one by one, or you can copy paste everything at a time. Just copy this. Okay. Here is the symbol copy command, right? You can paste it over here. All the three at a time, no problem. So first one is R. Let me paste over here the same scripts. Right. These three commands you have to install. Now press here enter. Now check the version. Terraform -v. Now Terraform 1.8 1.8.2. So if you check over here, see this is the latest version. 1.8.2 is the latest version here showing it. The same version has been downloaded now. Right? Then check with Terraform one version or just version is fine. Both are fine. Right? This is fine. Now some let us understand some basic commands. That is fine. This is fine. So once Terraform is installed, now anyway we will be writing, we are going to write some scripts, that is fine, no problem. But before writing the Terraform HCL script, what commands we use in Terraform and what they do. So first command is Terraform. Like Ansible, we have a key called Terraform. Terraform is the keyword. So Terraform space, you have to give a command called init. When you say Terraform init, it will initialize the Terraform. What does it mean? Initialize means what? Initialize the Terraform using,
Start the Terraform.
yeah, you are right. At the same time, what it will do is, in the code I just now have shown you here, it will check what is the provider name. I am not yet created this, right? Not yet created. I will create in a moment. But when I create it, when you after creating it, I have to run this command. So when I run the command in it, then this command will check what is inside the provider name. What is the provider name? Okay, it is Google. Then it will download all the required binary files to connect it to a Google Cloud. If it is a AWS, then when you say when you run the command init, then it will check. It will go again. It will check. Okay, it is AWS provided. Okay, I have to connect to a AWS cloud. Then for that respective binary file, it will download. From where it is download, Terraform will have its own repository. From there, it will download the binary file. If it is Azure, then it will download the binary file related to Azure. So whatever it download, that is a binary file which helps the Terraform to connect to that particular cloud. So init is preparing a few things like downloading the software required binary file from the Terraform repository, and it is ready now. Terraform is ready now. Now whatever your activities you tell it to do, it will do now on the cloud. It knows now how to connect it, right? That is the reason first command should be init. And next is, this is not mandatory. Next command is not mandatory, but it's very helpful command, which you will also agree. Why? Because this is fmt is a command which will format your script. In YAML, we got sometimes multiple issues with due to space related issues. We found some issues, so those issues will be avoided by Terraform tools given a command called fmt, that is format. It will automatically formats your script. Even though you have given some extra spaces, it will correct it. Is very helpful tool. Format our HCL script. So this is not mandatory. Only one time you will run it. First time when you write a script, you will write it. And then what? Similarly, like we have command in Ansible, that is hyphen syntax check. Similarly, here also we have, so Terraform validate. It will validate whether our script is correct or not. Validates the HCL script. It will validate. And finally, before you see in Ansible, after validating, what you do, Ansible playbook and playbook name you give and enter, it will create it. We have also one option over there. If you remember, there you should say Ansible playbook some file dot yaml. Then we used to do dry run also, dry check. When you do this, what used to be happen? Exactly, the softwares will not be deployed, but it will show you what will happen when that particular file has been executed. It's a just dry run. So similarly here also we have somebody once, and you are not unmute, please mute yourself. So similarly we have in Terraform, we have a command called plan. When you give Terraform plan, it will clearly show you what if you execute it. If you execute it, how many servers will be going to be created, how many S3 buckets will be created, how many VPCs will be created. Those all the information, if you have written in your code, it will display over there before it executes. Okay, just like dry run, just like dry run, it will it will show us the execution plan, what will happen if executed. And then finally Terraform apply. When you use Terraform apply, then it will create the infrastructure, creates the infrastructure, it creates the infrastructure. Here, when the script or when the HCL script got executed, it will store the state in a file. That file I have shown you. That is your terraform.tf state. A TF state automatically creates. So because it is meeting a state, what if you run the command terraform apply again, it will not create the infrastructure again. It won't create. It will check the TF state. If if, as per the requirement, as per the script, everything is already created, then it will not recreate again. It will always refer the terraform's TF state file, right? That means if we execute the HCL script again, it will not create the infrastructure again. Okay, but if we delete the state file, for example, if you delete the state file, you should not do that. You should not do that, right? But if you delete and it is not recommended. Okay, if you delete the state file and which is not recommended, never touch it, which is not recommended. Okay, but if you delete it and execute the script again, then the infrastructure will be created. Okay, but don't do that. Next, finally, we have another command called terraform destroy. Terraform destroy, right? So we can use terraform apply, or we can use terraform apply hyphen auto approve. Why we require auto approve? I will see, because when you creating a infrastructure, it will ask your confirmation. Do you want to continue like that? You have to type yes. Like in Linux commands, I will give, I normally giving hyphen y, right? That way, this auto approve. If without asking your permission, it will directly creates terminates all the resources created on the cloud. Okay, so you can similarly for this also we have auto approve. You can give for the here, this also will ask us for auto approval. That is fine. Till now, any doubts, please? Now we installed our software, we know the commands to run. Next thing is writing the script. So let us write a script. So anyway, the session might have expired. Yeah, it will take some time. So meanwhile, as per the documentation, if you observe the documentation, here it is not provided. Let me go to AWS. If you observe the documentation carefully, we have to give the AWS region, right? Not only region, we have to give access key and secret key as well if you are not using key pair. So you know how to connect it to a server. We use key pair. Whenever you create an instance, what we do while creating the instance, we will give the key pair. But using a Terraform script, if you don't want to use key pair, then we can how can we connect to our remote machine which is running on the AWS data center? If you remember, while running shell scripting, and not only shell scripting, while learning AWS SDK, at the time we have created what we have created: access key and secret key. We can use that as well. Alternatively, we can use those keys as well, either key pair or that one, both. We'll see both examples, but as of now I want to use key pair. So let me create a file. File name can be anything. There is no rules actually. You can, like Ansible, you can give any name. I will say vi main.tf, vi main.tf, enter. Right here the example, in the example what they're saying: provider double, in double quotation we have to give the provider name, and what is the region. Okay, version is not mandatory, so everything is not mandatory. You see here this example, you can copy it. If you want, you can copy it. I'm copying it just to save some time. You see region, anyway I'm not using that region, right? I have to change the region. Go here and select Mumbai region. Mumbai region having which key? What is the ID of the AP South 1? Change it. Okay, whatever region you want to use, that that region ID you have to specify. Very easy. Region name, remove it. AP South 1, right? AP South 1. Then next what we require: access key, secret key. Because I'm not using key pair. If you are using key pair, then these are not required. I will use key pair, access key and secret key. How can I generate it? I told you we can generate these keys from here, security credentials. I also told you how to create from for particular user. In the IAM also you can create it. If you go to IAM, normally we use IAM security groups. So here we will create a user, and for every user we can create a access key and secret access key. But what here I'm trying to create directly, right? So this is nothing but your directly your root access keys and root secret access key. So this way you should not use. This way you should not use. Normally you have to create a user and you have to restrict him with policies. After that you can use the access key and secret access key. But for this demo I'm using my root access keys. Okay, but in real time we will not use that way. In real time we will create users, and on the users we will write some policies on top of it. We'll assign some policies. For that we will create the access keys and secret access keys if required. Here if you come down, access keys, one already is there, select it, actions, delete it. So here deactivate, here paste it, delete it, it is gone now. Create access key. Now create access key, it is saying root user access keys are not recommended. It's not recommended, but okay, for this practice session I'm doing it. I understand creating root access key. Create access key. Now see, this access key and this is a secret access key, both I created. Now what I can do, copy this and area to paste. Come down, right click and paste. Similarly, secret access key, copy it, done. Now provider is AWS, and which region I'm going to create the instances, resources, various resources, in which region I'm going to create? In Mumbai region. How can I connect to it? I am giving the access keys, required access keys. Now I can create the required resources. How can I create? For example, instance I want to create, for example. Okay, so come out of this, come here. Now provider is ready. Now another section, next section. So again go to the documentation. On the left side, search for EC2. EC2 Elastic Cloud Computer Cloud, expand it and come down, scroll down. We before we saw it, right? It was instance, right? Select it. You select it. For now, you ignore these things. These are variables. I will explain them later. But variables also we have topic here that I will explain slowly. But as of now, for this session, let's create immediately one server. Then we'll run the commands and then we'll learn them slowly. Where is that? I'm sorry. See, in data sources, we have one AWS instance, and here in resources, we have one. Click on under resources, you check resources. We have AWS instance. Click on this. So, example, this is the one we want resources. Okay, what are these are, you can say these are variables, you can refer them. See, data dot, that means I'm referring this one, I'm referring this one, data dot. What are these things, I will explain you, no worries. Just ignore as of now, just ignore as of, very simple things actually. But anyway, I'm interested in this part. If you observe carefully this part, resource, we have to say resource, and then which resource you want to create. I want to create an instance, then in a double quotation you have to say the resource, like this. The keywords you cannot change it. And then to this resource, I'm giving some name in the space and double quotation, some name. You can give any name, no problem at all. You can give any name, but a meaningful name you give. Okay. Suppose in this instance, I'm installing some application, some Amazon application, then say Amazon app, something like that you can give, web app, something like that, no problem, right? Then instance type. What is instance type? T2 micro. Here you have T3, but we are using T2 micro. In some regions they support T3 micro only, right? T2 micro will not support it. T3 micro they support. At that time you can go with T3 micro. That is another issue, no problem. And then AMI, right? You want to create an instance, but what type of instance you want to create? You want to create Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, Windows? What you want to create? Suppose I want to create Ubuntu, then Ubuntu's image ID should be provided. Amazon machine image, where every instance we have a ID. Do you know? You know that, but let me show you it again. Click on launch instance. You see carefully. This is Amazon Linux, and observe here AMI 00184. This is the instance ID. AMI. See in the code also, it's saying AMI. If you want to create, if you have to copy this, you have to copy this, and you have to paste here. You can paste it directly, or you can store in a variable. You can store in a variable that we'll see in a moment. Okay, how to store and how can we use it. But today we will directly copy paste here. Or suppose I want to use Ubuntu. When you click on Ubuntu, this is another AMI ID. For every instance, for Windows there is another AMI ID. For everything, different IDs will be there. Be here now. Ubuntu, select Ubuntu here. I want to create the Ubuntu AMI ID, right? So the ID is displaying here, the same ID here displaying, right? Copy this, right? You can copy and you can use it. Okay. Now, and next is what? Tax. Tax is not mandatory. You can give it. Now copy this. Just copy this part. Is it alive? Okay. Now paste it. And you see, I forgot a closing bracket here while copying, right? No problem. Close it. And here, go to our AMIs. You can delete it. In double quotation, copy the AMI ID. Ubuntu I want to create. So Ubuntu I selected. I copied the ID and close the double quotation. And instance type is T2 micro. Tag name, You can give any tag name. The tag name is nothing but it will display the name here. That is, that it will display as a tag as well as instance name. Like Terraform server is there. No, this is the name. This name, if you want, you will get it, and you select. If you select it, on the right side we have tags column. See tags. Here also you can. The tag name is by default Terraform server. So the name whatever you want to display here, that you can give as a tag name. Here I will say Amazon web app, web server, something like that. Okay, something. And then here web is there. You can give any name. I'll say Amazon web server, something. Anything you can give, but this should not be changed. This is your what resource you want to create. I want to create an instance. The instance resource name you should mention here. If you want to create a S3 bucket, then AWS underscore S3 bucket you have to mention. If you want to create a VPC, then you have to share AWS VPC. For every resource a unique name will be there here. This is the image. So one instance will be created, that is Ubuntu. Why only Ubuntu? Because I am using the Ubuntu's image ID, machine image. This Amazon's machine image. Instance type and tag. That's all simple. A simple code. Now your provider is AWS, region is Mumbai region. How to connect it? Through this keys. And after connecting to that, what resource you want to create by the Terraform? We are telling to Terraform that create an instance. Okay, create an instance. The instance image ID is this one, machine image is this one, and type is T2 micro. Then our Terraform will communicate with AWS. It will say that please create an instance, and instance machine image is ID is this one, and the hardware configuration is please follow as per T2 micro configuration. As per T2 micro, you create the infrastructure and also assign a tag with this name. So this way our Terraform will communicate with AWS. If you give here Azure, then Azure also will have different regions, different access keys, and like that, and the names will change here. For AWS it is like this, but for Azure it is somewhat different name. Right? Escape. Save this code. ls. Now we have main.tf. Now what we studied till now, we have learned that the commands, right? First command is init. Now if you see ls-a hidden files, do you see any file with the name Terraform? No. Now let me start now. First command is Terraform init. You see it is initializing the backend, initializing the provider plugins. So it is reading my script now, but no need to mention my main TF name. It reads it automatically reads it. It has read it and finding the latest version of HashiCorp AWS. See AWS. How it knows it is AWS? Because I mentioned AWS as my provider name. Now what it is saying? Installing HashiCorp AWS version this and this. Terraform has created a log file. Okay, one is created, and it's saying Terraform has been successfully initialized. You may now begin working with Terraform. Try running Terraform plan to see any changes that are required for your infrastructure. All Terraform commands should now work. If you ever set or change modules, so blah blah. So if you say again command this time, you will see a .terraform file has been created. Before it was not there. Now it is created. If you get inside, if you're interested, not required, but if you're interested, you can get inside and see, or simply you say yum install tree -y. You know what tree will do, right? Now I will say now tree command. You see inside providers folder we have another folder inside that HashiCorp AWS, the version number in that a folder called Linux. In that this is the binary file. This is the executable. This is the binary file. IaC. This is IaC. This is the program. This program knows how to connect to a AWS cloud, and it knows how to communicate with it. So it will read our file and it will understand that we want to create an instance. The same information it will communicate with our respective cloud provider. If you have installed if you want to communicate with Azure, then this file name will change. Instead of AWS, it will be Azure, it will be Google, like that. Anyway, clear the screen, ls. Now Terraform unit is done. Now let us see format. So Terraform format, just fmt is enough. So no issues, it's not displaying anything, that means everything is fine. So for example, you can try, you can change the indentation text, you without proper spaces, you do and run fmt, it should correct it. Open the file again, you will see the changes done by it. Then Terraform plan. What it's saying, Terraform, see, when I run it, Terraform uses the selected providers to generate the following execution plan. Resource actions are indicated with the following symbols. Plus means create, plus means create. Okay, so Terraform will perform the following actions. What actions it will perform? Resource is, it will create instance of with the name this one. Image, I have copied it, the same thing. But what is the Amazon resource name, these other things, public IP address, these are will not know, right? It's saying known after apply. When you apply Terraform apply, when you say, these things will display. Till then public IPs, zones, these things will not be shown. And then instance type, we have given T2 micro, so the same thing is displaying here, right? Right. So what else? Right. Now let us run the command. What is the next command? Terraform apply. When you say Terraform apply, now it is creating now. So here we don't have the server that with the name Amazon web server name, we don't have. That will be created now with that name. Enter a value is saying Terraform will perform the actions described above. Only yes will be accepted to approve. So I have given you two commands. If you use Terraform apply auto approve, then it will not ask you like this. Okay, just say yes here. You saying Amazon web server creating, still creating. But you will be seeing here. If you refresh it, it will showing in different state, pending state or some other state. You see Amazon web server is creating, it's pending state, you see. And if you select it, you will see the Ubuntu Linux here. See Ubuntu, because I have used this ID, right? That is the reason it is creating Ubuntu. Now it is running, you see. So creation complete after 31 seconds. This is the ID of that machine. Apply complete. Resources 1 added, 0 changes, 0 destroyed. This way it will show you. You see, this is a Terraform state has been created now. If you open it, all information it contains. Whatever it has done, everything it will maintain here. What is AMI it has used, what is ARN, what is the public IP address, everything it will taken care. All that is will taken care. So what is the private IP, what is the public IP? See, everything stored. We should not do it any. We should not do any changes over here, right? And here, if you go to your tags, you'll see the tags Amazon Web Server. That's the same name. And finally, when you want to destroy, for example, created it, I want to destroy it. Simply, you can run the command destroy. This time it will again ask our confirmation. Yes. Now the instance destroying the idea of the instance. So we'll see one more thing. It minus minus it is showing. You see, all will be destroyed. These all will be destroyed. When I say yes, it's showing that these all will be destroyed. Minus means destroy. It's still destroying, but that means the status may be shutting down. Maybe if you refresh it, it is shutting down. So this way we can create multiple servers. Tomorrow we'll learn various other things as well, how to create various other resources, how to use variables, right, etc., etc. Destroy completed. It's complete. Resource 1 destroyed. Now if you refresh, terminated. Please go through this recording if you have any doubts. Tomorrow we'll connect at same time again, right? Practice them. Okay, I'm terminating my instance. Okay, then have a good day. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.